Hello, sound check.
Today we have with us Emraan Hashmi. Can we have a big round of applause, everybody? I saw an interview of yours where you said कि Mahesh Bhatt साहब ने मेरा ego तोड़ा था.
Oh, he's the worst person.
Like देख बेटा, कुत्ते का काम है, किसी को तो करना है और तू कुत्ता है. He said it on my face and I broke.
In your school, like all of us have this crush on one school teacher.
I've had a crush on quite a few people. One was my friend's mom.
Oh.
Is that a hickey over there?
And how can we not talk about you and Mallika Sherawat?
I don't know if I said something. Did I say something bad about her in Coffee with Karan? Fuck you, Gaurav.
Fuck you, Gaurav. Welcome back to another episode of Outer Syllabus. Today we have with us Emraan Hashmi. Can we have a big round of applause, everybody? काफी energetic है यार.
The fact that we've been waiting since 8 o'clock.
Since 8 o'clock. Imagine. जिस दिन से हमने बताया कि Emraan Hashmi is coming, everybody is so excited. They want to ask you so many questions, but we know कि time का थोड़ा सा limitation, तो हम will take the audience questions eventually.
Great.
And Emraan, you had a very big impact in all our lives. मेरे जिंदगी में movies में जो intimate scenes को normalize किया वो आपने किया genuinely.
Yeah.
On a very serious note.
Yeah. Is that a hickey over there?
I'm not.
I really have influenced you.
Really? Imran
Huge impact on
Huge
my life.
impacts.
Everyone's got hickeys over here.
Somebody else, किसी और के पास है कि?
No, that's how we
Oh, you know, all the audience members, everyone's like, we're all here for you.
ठीक है, वो ठीक
No,
है.
no, wait.
One
Let
more
me complete this story. So, 2006, I have this new device which is called the computer.
Wow.
With internet. And I'm watching this song called Aashik Banaya Apne. And it has become my sexual awakening. And I'm not looking at you in the song.
I'm happy to help.
Yeah, listen, but did you notice that you did that to so many men of that generation?
Yeah.
That you were literally responsible
Did
for
you
the
hear
sexual awakening?
Tanushree quote 3 weeks ago?
Which was?
I don't know if there was a verbatim quote or what. She said that it was like brotherly.
Game of Thrones happening!
I was like, what did the director tell her? What did the director tell me? Like, I had another narrative in my head. I had another narrative going in my head, and she had another narrative going in her head. I was never told the story about incest. Yeah.
This is like Cersei and Jaime.
So you didn't know that, you were not on that.
I don't know what she was thinking, but fine.
No, but again, going back to that
Sorry,
question.
detour there.
Did you, Did you know that you were responsible for this happening to the country's youth?
I realize it's a huge responsibility. I think I did contribute in a huge way.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. Love it.
Yes.
Love this sexual awakening.
By the way, इसी से Alicia also has a story. Alicia, please.
I was never allowed to watch your films. एक बार मैं
What was your age?
I was in 9th grade. Yeah, 9th or 10th. Yeah, 15, 14.
And which film would that be then?
आशिक बनाया. ठीक है. And मेरी मम्मी और मासी बाहर वो फिल्म देख रही होती थी. ठीक है. मैं
वो देख रही है. She's not allowed.
और मैं ऐसे कुछ पानी वानी लेने के बहाने बीच में जाके थोड़ा कुछ ऐसे देख के फिर वापस आती. But I was never allowed to watch any of your films. So like आवारापन, अक्सर, आशिक बनाया, ये सारी.
But आवारापन didn't happen. You know, that is also an issue. I think people they made this strong image of me.
Yes.
Then
yes,
even
absolutely.
if films were doing something daringly different in that sense, they were not that kind of whatever semi-erotica or whatever you call it. For some reason, people were filtering everything through the prism of what happened in like a murder or Ashik happening. We live in a country which unfortunately is to a certain point still a little sexually repressed.
Yeah.
It was hugely sexually repressed back in the day.
Back then.
In 2003. So it became this thing about, you know, it's kind of blasphemy, it's kind of has to be spoken in hushed tones, you can't see it. There's also hypocrisy. Like you will watch it on your own on like a computer. But I think it's also awkward because Indians can't really talk about that. Right?
Yeah.
And they are obsessed with it, but they can't talk about it and even see it. Yeah, population. That's
exactly how it is
happening. That's the biggest indicator of this country that's apparently, you know, not obsessed with sex. It's the most popular country.
You did those films back then. Okay. As a person who went out in a public, whether you're having food or whatever, how did people look at you? Did they look at you like, oh my God, this guy's here?
No, I was objectified.
You were objectified?
Yeah, by women.
Oh!
So I had quite a few like experiences that I can't talk about right now, but it was just it was flattering. Whatever the chatter was, it was great. Like growing up as me. That means that
Everybody wanted to be you.
It was fantastic because when I used to also go into like clubs with friends, there used to be these raging successful songs, and then the whole club event became about those songs.
Yeah.
So and everyone used to sing those things. So it was flattering to kind of, you know.
Basically, you were the poster boy for sexual awakening that we discussed right now, right? How does that feel? Like, definitely
It
in our
feels bizarre.
popular...
It feels bizarre.
Why?
Bizarre?
I don't know. It just feels bizarre. It's just too. It's very difficult to kind of digest everything sometimes. Sometimes it feels like probably it's like a dream, and then you know. But yeah, it just. I don't know. It becomes your new normal in a sense. You become okay with it. It becomes like in the beginning it's not normal because your life goes from 0 to 100 pretty fast, right? That is a shock. That is like an assault on the senses, and there's a lot of things that you compute in the beginning, in the first few films. There's also this question in the beginning in your first mob encounter when people mob you, they're like, what are they seeing in me? Like what? You don't get this before, and suddenly it's like just you're thrown into the in the throes of this kind of love and adulation. They don't know you. And it's so bizarre because my first experience of getting mobbed was outside a theater, and that was my first experience of like, okay, this is cinema. This is like you can play a character, and that character didn't even get past to the end of the film. It was like footpath, he dies in like before the intermission. And they loved that character, and they were like crazy in the theater. Like half the theater went, and I had to run to the car with my friends, and they kind of like ran after me to take autographs. But then that becomes a normal, right?
Did you set out to be this kind of a poster boy? Did you set out to be? Did you take roles because of that? Did you do the acting because like?
No, nothing was pre-planned. It was just I just took on the things that were brought to me. I was enjoying playing these characters. I was working hard. There's a fear of failure, of course. That was a huge failure. That fear that I didn't want to. I didn't have a plan B. Like I don't have I my father's business. I don't have a plan B for a career. Like I was like, this is everything. If I fail at this, I have nothing, and then I have to support my family also. So that was a huge responsibility. So sometimes it was not even like fun. It was like, okay, I gotta get to the set. I gotta learn these lines. I gotta do the best performance that I can, and this film better be a hit. And then one thing led to the other.
Every Indian guy, I have to support my family, take care of it.
Yeah.
That's true. जिम्मेदारियां आ जाती है.
How can we talk about this, and how can we not talk about you and Mallika Sherawat?
You go for it.
Yeah?
Go for it.
Listen, so you all did a film called Murder, which of course a lot of us have watched on our computers because again we were not allowed. Cut to 2014, that epic episode of Coffee with Karan, where you had epic things to say about what happened. What happened? I want to know what happened in these.
Are you talking about what happened in the Coffee with Karan episode?
Yeah,
or
like what
happened?
transpired between both of you all there?
No, nothing. It was just we were very immature and brash, and I think this is whole media thing happening over there. The media was also these media wars go on, like again, and it kind of hypes up a film also. So we were in the throes of that, and we constantly there was ranting of stuff against each other. It just kind of snowballed into I don't know what it became. She shot off something, then I shot off something. I said some things that were mean. She said something that were mean, and then we stopped meeting for like probably 20 years.
Yeah, till you met her recently.
Yeah, and I don't know if I said something. Did I say something bad about her in Coffee with Karan?
You said you called her a bad kisser, and then you said I would like to gift her a book called English for Dummies because she's doing a lot of Hollywood films.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, Mallika.
Yeah, but listen,
That
you
was,
called her a bad kisser. Has anybody called you a bad kisser?
No.
Confidence!
No one in the right frame of mind.
Right frame of mind would call you that. Nice.
We've seen many of your interviews. हमने ये देखा कि आपने कॉलेज की बात करी है, आपने महेश भट्ट साहब की बात करी है, एक्टिंग की बात करी है. उस पे हम इवेंचुअली आ जाएंगे. But we want to know who the real Emraan Hashmi is and how were you like as a child? Jैसे I was brought up in Noida. तो नोएडा में मतलब it was very Akshay also knows.
Yeah, I was also brought up. No, I was in Dubai and then I moved to Noida. But I know like the Noida vibes we know. We are the Noida boys. So you were born.
What does that entail?
नहीं, I'll tell you. Noida is basically बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग निकलते हैं कि आज लड़ाई करेंगे. That's the motive. है ना कि भाई ये बंदा बहुत स्टाइल मार रहा है तो इसको इससे जाके पूछते हैं कि स्टाइल क्यों मार.
So there are two types of people in Noida: the ones who get into fights and the ones who try to escape from.
Yeah,
So we were, I think, that. So what about you? Like,
Born and brought up in, I don't know if you've been to Bandra, Pali Hill. That's been my life. I went to the school in Juhu in Mumbai, at that time Bombay. I was a very quiet kid, but at the same time extremely naughty, in a sense that I used to get away with a lot of stuff that I used to do in school and in my building and stuff because of the innocent look. And I think the perception is that because some people feel that I'm from a filmy family, there was like this environment in my house that, you know, everyone wanted to be part of the films. My grandmother was an actress, but my dad never got into the films. My mom wasn't from there, and I never had this thing of getting into movies at all. So I never wanted to face the camera. It wasn't even a distant thing in my mind to face the camera. And you know, this is the thing of growing up in the 80s. The influences are not like they are right now. Social media, internet, you know, the abundance of media and entertainment. Back then, I don't know who's a 80s kid. I was born in 79. So we had just one channel. DD. So there were like 3 or 4 shows we used to watch. So our basic time was outdoors. Outdoors, playing cricket, skateboarding, BMXing, that kind of stuff.
Oh, BMX.
Yeah, we used to have this ramp outside our building. We used to like, do some crazy stuff. And I've really like tattooed almost bones and stuff doing that. So yeah, that was what it is. A lot of outdoor activities. Not the best at sports, but yeah, just for fun.
Again, back to your childhood. In your school, like all of us have this crush on one school teacher. Did you have a school teacher
I've
crush?
had.
Oh, really?
I've had a crush on quite a few people.
Oh.
Like
Give names.
I can't give you names. One was my friend's mom.
Oh. All right.
Does the friend know?
It was a crush.
Does
It was growing up. We were stupid. It was just like it was. The friend didn't know. But the other friends knew.
Oh, damn.
Everyone had a crush.
Interesting.
Are you still friends with that guy?
He's actually left the country. I've not had.
First
First of all, disclaimer: he didn't leave the country because I had a crush on his mom. He left the country way later.
But if you left the country, if you were Imran's friend, you know he had a crush on your mom.
Yeah, hopefully he's not seeing this. We did something else also, which I don't want to say. But let's stop
Listen,
it.
you can't bring a topic
No,
up
I
and not
can't.
tell us.
Yeah. You just said this.
You know, you do silly things as kids.
Which part? Tell us.
I might have written a note and slipped it under the door.
To the mom.
Yes.
Okay.
And obviously, I didn't write my name as an anonymous thing, but I was like, I
Thank God to that.
have to vocalize my feelings. I have to get it off my chest.
यार मेरे को भाई
Wow.
crazy.
Imran, about your friends. Like, you had friends from school. These are your school friends that you still have. Like,
School, in the vicinity, some college friends. I don't think I have any industry friends.
industry friends. In school, your friends and you, like, there are 2 types, right? Like, you get bullied or you bully. Right? So, I just wanted to ask you. Which
First
side
of
were
all,
you on?
I don't promote bullying.
No, no one does. No one does. We are
But I
all
would come
against.
across as a bully.
Okay.
I never got bullied, right? But again, not like, you know, endorsing it at all.
So
But
you
yeah,
use-
I guess that's,
you can
yeah,
come across
yeah,
as it.
come across as that.
Can you just, for me, there was this guy, Gaurav, fuck you. He used to bully me. So can you just say, Gaurav,
Fuck you, Gaurav.
Fuck you, Gaurav.
Fuck you, Thank you so much.
Now that you
I
said,
didn't know you could like abuse this
You
podcast.
can, you
But
can.
now that you open the doors, I said,
Now we've
Arey, you have 2
I'll-
Noida boys,
I'll
one.
let it rip.
the floodgates have opened. Now you, because
floodgates
you
have
said that you come across as bully. Why?
I don't know. I probably this is something that people tell me. I can't analyze myself. I have people telling me this that I probably come across sometimes as a little bit intimidating if you don't know me, and come across as someone who could be a little bossy. My wife says that I'm a little too bossy. I think that she's bossy. I don't know. Someone needs to be there to be a referee to figure out who's the real boss over there.
That's my question. I really want to know when there are no cameras, absolutely nobody is watching you. Who are you as a person? What do you do?
Very chill, completely non-filmy life. Inner sanctum of people when I'm off the shoot. And I've always compartmentalized this from the word go. From the first day of shoot in 2003. My friends are my school friends, college friends. We hang out. We don't talk about films at all. It's a lot of buffoonery. It's a lot of shit that we talk. You know,
What
if
do
you,
you
if you
talk?
see me, I can't really inspire but if you sit with us,
Yeah, let's dig into that.
no, if you sit with us, it's first of all it's very intimidating because it's a very loud, brash bunch of people that it sounds dysfunctional the way we talk about ourselves.
all of us, we are loud.
We are very loud.
And abuse the hell out of each other.
Acha.
You know, it's that love, but it's not showing that. It comes across with the gali galoj kind of thing, kind of Noida, kind of not aggressive.
Attack kar rahe hain, attack us.
You should write a book, My Journey from Bangalore
I
to
should.
Noida.
I think the next one will be that.
But listen, we spoke about parties. What happens in Bollywood parties? Give dates.
Nothing actually. That's why.
Listen, you're lying.
Trust me, nothing happens. in
Yeah.
Bollywood parties.
Really?
Are there like superficial conversations?
Very.
Yeah.
Is that why you don't have industry friends? Because there's so like there is a like persona.
There's a persona, there's a persona. That's exactly why I don't have industry friends. Because you always are not talking to the person, you're talking to a persona someone's put up. Everyone is wearing a friggin' mask and roaming around.
All the time. Like
And they'll surprise you. Everything is like, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? And everything is like that upkey. The cameras are facing me, and I'm never down, and I'm never normal because I'm a star, and I'm also always interesting, and my life is always interesting. I want to know if that really is a mind game and they go back to their home, their families, and dole that shit out in front of them. That would be like frustrating for their family.
Absolutely.
Like this is not the person like grew up in the house, right?
yeah.
At least switch off over here. I don't know. I would really want to go to the house and see how they behave.
But do you think? Why? And I see there's this weird trend in the industry. I see that people are getting plastic surgery. Like people who are looking amazing, who look great, who I am like wow. I mean, suddenly I see that there are some.
Like who?
Rajkumar Rao.
Yeah,
We can say it, no? We can say it. He has this face of like a alpha guy now, bro. It's a rectangular face now.
We'll never get Rajkumar Rao's interview now.
No, we love his.
Not only him, like even Kajal Agarwal recently, and like where is this insecurity coming from?
It is a reality. I mean, the cosmetic business, not just in the industry, it's become a thing. They've marketed it pretty well. Everyone wants to look like that poster boy or girl, and there's become this identity of what beauty is, right? And you want to mold yourself to that because that's what gets you the love when you feel good about yourself. Coming to cosmetic surgeries, I haven't got any, if you're thinking.
Keep it real.
Be real. But before you actually got into films, I'm going to take you back then. You were an AD.
I was an AD, yeah, from 20.
Akshay, by the way, was also an AD.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about this actually,
Yeah.
because I read about your AD experience,
Yes.
and it was not relatable.
Okay.
So I worked on this movie called Rustam. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like a trainee AD there.
Okay.
And shit, I've said the name and all also. Acha.
okay.
Yeah. So basically, I was like,
Now he's thinking, what should I do? Now he's kind of watering it down. Like, oh man.
नहीं मैं
The
सीधा बोल
Rustam crew is like,
actually यार मेरे को job दिया था.
We can say fuck you, Saman
No,
or
no.
something,
you
bro.
made me talk about giving notes to friends' moms.
तो fair इतना तो चलेगा
Up your
fair
game, man.
fair यार fair. तो मैं so 7 days in a row that after pack up, right? Pack up is the best thing everyone hears, right? Everyone's going home except for I had to sit with DI and look at each footage that has been transferred. So I did this for 7 days. The schedule was 14 days. On the 7th day, I went to my first AD and I said, "Sir, यार अब दूसरे training ADs है, so can they do this?" He's like, "देख बेटा, कुत्ते का काम है, किसी को तो करना है और तू कुत्ता है." He said it on my face and I broke.
Ouch.
Okay, so I broke, went into like heavy, sad scenes and I was like, "यार cinema तो I love." ये क्या हो रहा है इधर?
You know, yes.
So and then I read.
It completely gonna go on.
No, I read your experience
Yeah.
as an AD.
What about it? You didn't.
Where you were like, यार,
You know where it is going. right?
you were like, यार मैं तो निकम्मा AD था, and मैं तो chill मारता था. I was a lazy Mohit who used to call me nikamma AD. और
Yeah, I used to fire every bullet over Mohit's shoulder. Like I really went to the vans to call actors.
हाँ, you were like मेरे से नहीं होगा
Or they
ये.
just go and call him because he's taking so much time here.
हाँ.
I'm not waiting outside the van. I'm not like taking his shit, so I used to send him off. I used to send other ADs. I was given the job of those odd jobs on the set. I think we didn't at that point because it was just one film. We were like I was given the job of translating dialogues, like just making it because there was Lisa Ray in the film. She couldn't read Devanagari script, so I was given the job of kind of translating it or making it into a Roman script. Then sometimes we used to go for post for BG and stuff. But it is a job where I think it's very shattering in the beginning because you have this image of films,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This is very glitzy, glam image of film. It just is, it takes a lot to sink in. So it was a very confusing time. I realized back then that probably this is not, direction probably is not my thing.
You didn't enjoy it.
Like my other friends that were assistants, I think they took it, they took that forward, they became directors. I realized after 6 months that, this is probably not it.
But do you think, I'm going to bring up the word.
We'll
bring up the word.
build it up. For example,
Can I bring up the word?
Raja ka beta agar Raja
The
ban
word,
sakta
the
hai.
word everyone.
इनको जैसा पता नहीं था कि
Do you think your experience, my experience was my experience because of that? Do you think it could be like AD का जो experience होता है?
No, actually, we actually had to bear the brunt of nepotism in there because we might have got an entry point, but there was a chief assistant that used to be very rude and mean with us because he was like, "Acha, these guys have got it easy." They used to really fuck us over. That guy used to during our working, 6 months to a year. Then he kind of softened up to us, and then we became friends. And we, started delegating more work. It has its pitfalls, but yeah, granted, if you are from the outside, it definitely is way tougher in the initial phase for actors, for directors to get that entry point in the industry. Definitely is. If you're part of a film family, it's way easier.
To at least get that
At
entry
least you
point.
get that entry point. There's no debate about that. But does that guarantee you success? No. There is no road to success. It's not like the odds are in your favor if you're from a film family. There's so many examples of people that have not, unfortunately, made it in the industry, even though they're from film families.
That's true.
Ultimately, it's your talent, it's your skill set, it's the audience accepting your films and you. And there are enough examples of people who have come from different cities. A lot of people from Delhi have gone to Mumbai not knowing any film family there or not having contacts. And they're huge stars in their own right. So there's no roadmap. I would really say that this word nepotism also is very, very, of course, you should point it out if you feel there's some kind of unfair advantage, but sometimes people use it as a crutch. I feel
In what
that
way?
sometimes if you're not able to give it all and get to a certain point, you will use that as an excuse of not becoming successful or reaching there.
Oh.
So that's actually, I would say, more detrimental.
So people
because
think-
you're using nepotism and saying that I never got there because there was an unfair advantage given to other people, and that is self-destructive. Sometimes a word, sometimes a thought could be so self-destructive because there's so many examples. And granted, you have to push more if you're not part of a film family. But just you have to work that much harder. You have to understand that everyone has got a certain card or hand dealt to them, right?
Yeah.
And I might not have the best positives when I entered inside the industry. Probably other people more talented than me. I knew I had to work harder. But if I start cribbing about things, right, then it becomes about cribbing. Then it's about that. Then you can't achieve it. You dissipate half your energy in saying that I never got there because of him, or looking over your shoulder and saying they had an unfair advantage. I think in a race, you got to just concentrate on yourself and keep running. And one fine day, I saw a very interesting interview about Bryan Cranston, the guy
Breaking
from
Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
He actually got his break sometime in his early, in his 50s. Yeah. That's testament to the fact that you just have the blinkers on and just go for it. There's no roadmap. You might not achieve it in your 20s. You might not achieve it in your 30s. The guy kept doing bit roles till he became a star
Brilliant actor.
in his 50s.
Wow.
That's a single-minded approach.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a journey.
I have a follow-up question on the part where we spoke about. So we all know that Kangana is really vocal about nepotism.
She is really vocal about everything, bro, I think.
No. Yeah, and absolutely really vocal about nepotism. And since you guys have worked together, has she ever, as a friend, shared with you, like, dude, तेरे लिए तो आसान है ऐसा कुछ?
She never said that. We've done a couple of films together.
Okay.
Very hardworking girl. I think we really hit it off in all these films.
Yeah.
I'm very fond of her. She's very fond of me. And I think the last time I met her must have been like way back in like 2017.
Oh,
I guess,
okay.
yeah. I get what she's saying because she didn't come from a film family. She must have had a huge struggle before she got her first break. Yeah. I know how Anurag gave her a break. I know that she was spotted at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And he cast her for Gangster. And rest is history. She did a great job and she's successful. But I guess there's also always that angst and that feeling when you are not from the industry, that you're always treated a certain way. There's favoritism. And when you see that favoritism and it goes to people that you feel they're undeserving, when you have probably come from 50 different auditions and you've worked your ass off getting there, here's a person in this entitled place who's not given a single audition, who's not done anything to deserve it, and you see them on screen and they're shit performers.
Yeah.
And they still get film after film after film, right?
Yeah.
And that's that's the core issue of nepotism. If you don't have the talent to back it, again, there are people who have been part of film families that are fantastic actors, and that's a different discussion to have. But then there are people who are rank bad performers, but they constantly getting films.
Yes.
That's when I think someone like her, or even people who talk about it, it's, then it's justified. Then you feel that, you feel for them because they're so talented, but they could have got so many other offers and opportunities when it was backed by people because they were in an entitled place.
Right.
I have two questions related to this. जैसे आपने AD की बात करी थी, तो AD के टाइम पे I saw an interview of yours where you said कि महेश भट्ट साहब ने मेरा ego तोड़ा था एक टाइम पे.
Yes.
What was that like? What was the process?
He's the worst person. Kind of, he completely, I say that in the nicest way.
What does he do to an actor?
He will shatter your ego to the point where he will show you the harshest of reality if you couldn't succeed. And, he would just show you a realistic picture. He will never show you a very hunky-dory picture of things. And he is harsh with you. If you are bad, he told me, he scared the living daylights out of me before my first film. He said, it's not charitable association. This is not somewhere where we give jobs to people. Because you're part of the family, we might have given this opportunity to you. But if you can't act, if your first film is not successful and they don't like you, we are going to throw you out. So that just give you an indication of how brutal the words were for someone who is already so scared, is going to be facing the camera for the first time, who wants that validation, who wants a bit of performance anxiety also, and you have this person who, dilasa nahi dete hain. It's that, that guy from Whiplash?
Takla guy?
Yeah, so that's Bhatt Saab. That
Damn,
in a
bro.
way is Bhatt Saab, and
you're the drummer.
You understand that what he's trying to do. He's trying to mold you into what you have to face tomorrow in the world. Because also, if you also mollycoddle your kids too much, if you protect them too much, they'll have such an issue going out after they are 18 years. Because the world outside is so harsh, and they have a skewed understanding of reality which is in their house, which is so protected. He doesn't want to protect you. And that's what I've learned from him. That's what I learned and I inculcate with my son. I don't want to protect him. I want to make him as independent to face things after he's 18.
This method of filmmaking, this is a certain kind of method, right? Like Stanley Kubrick also had this apparently, and Sanjay Lal Bansali.
Yeah.
Have you only worked in this kind of this method, like of filmmaking? Like, have you only worked in these kind of environments, or have you also worked
I think every filmmaker has their own thought process in making films. It differs. I think in some places probably, the thing is, in films, the kind of filmmakers you work with in the commercial domain, that generally it's after a certain amount of time that you will play out in the industry and you see success and you'll have a certain skill set that you own, it becomes a little easy because commercial films are very confined to a certain way of functioning. It doesn't allow you to kind of do things, to kind of really be artistic, so to speak, commercial films. But then you do those kind of films, like when I did a film like Shanghai, it's frightening. It's frightening because you have a director who really pushes you to the brink. Commercial films don't allow that. I mean, they don't even, it doesn't go down that path. It's about singing songs, about action sequences, about serenading the woman, and it's about looking good on screen. But here was a character where I'm actually playing a character. So how do you get into the psyche of the character? And that's frustrating because you don't get it. And that makes you feel, after even 10 years of your career, it made me feel like I had an imposter syndrome. Like I don't know the job. I don't know the job. You have to keep feeling that way. Like I don't know the job. If you feel you have your grip on things, then you don't grow as an artist. I think every film should be able to challenge you and make you feel inadequate.
But you were brilliant in Shanghai, and I was wondering why we don't have more movies like that nowadays. You've been a producer, so you can just let us know. My mind, like in 2008-9, I was like, filmmaker, I want to be a filmmaker. And we got Gangs of Wasseypur coming in, Kahani, all these
the
kinds
thing
of
was
movies. And
with
now,
the whole thing of mass film, I think that is the unfortunate thing of mass film, which is it's been presented in a very wrong way to the audience. I think we feel that films that are dumbed down is mass, but that's what people in our country generally, the formulaic film has to be, according to them, a film that is dumbed down, that plays safe, because you're going to go out to a universal audience. If you experiment, generally the perception is that the audience gets limited.
Yeah.
Because you're experimenting. You have to show an escapist, kind of give them an escapist journey in that film. So in that you have to make it a lowest common denominator, try to understand it, sab tak pahunch jaye. I mean, don't non-linear stuff in film. Don't make it too complicated. Don't give subtextual things in films because your audience might not get it, and you won't make your money for the film.
So then how does it, when you're functioning that, because you've watched like Hollywood movies, you've watched a lot of crazy cinema, right? And now you're working in this kind of cinema, right? So is there a, what is that word?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Sometimes you feel like you want to do the kind of work, but that it's not showing in the scripts. You're like, okay, now to run the kitchen, you got to do this. It looks like a commercial entertaining, and it's okay. It's going to do well in the box office, hopefully. But you don't feel satiated because it's a surface level thing. It doesn't hit a point, where you feel that you're growing as an artist. But then you got to do it. There's also you got to bread and butter, and you have to keep that going.
Are you satisfied then as an artist? Generally, your career, when you look back at it, which we celebrate and love. Do you feel satisfied?
I think that you have to do these kind of films that kind of satiate you in that sense. You got to do some films where you say, you just shut that part of you and say that, okay, this is going to be a money spinner. This is going to be a film that, okay, you go in and you do the things that commercial films are supposed to do and entertain the audience. But there are certain films you feel that, okay, this is a character. This needs more work. So that's a process. So that gives you a feeling, okay, I did something that was on the edge, that was scary, that I felt like, okay, I might fail at this because am I capable of doing this? So that feeling, and when you accomplish it, and you get the adulation for it, I think that's fun. That's great.
To what you were saying right now, when you do these kind of films to run your home, of course you are still in the public eye, okay, and then you're still maintaining that success that you have, okay. But today, when you sit here, are you scared of not being in the public eye and losing that success that you've gained over a period of time?
Yeah, I think every actor feels that way. The thing is, anonymity is something because you've been part of the industry. I've been part of the industry for 20 years. You have a strong sense of identity that you kind of get from making films. The whole process of playing characters, of playing these different lives, is a high. It's like a great experience, and you want to relive that experience time and again. With that, you want the adulation, you want the validation that you've done something good. Right? You want the love from people. You get used to it, right? And it's a scary thought. It's a scary thought because every artist, there's no permanence, right? At some point, things are going to end, but you try to pull through and drag it as much away from the,
Makes sense.
Asha, all your characters that you played in your films are great because I just saw your song last night. You were we were watching it together. I know we were just vibing on your
Do one of that kind of Dil Nashi.
नहीं जरा सी
अच्छा वो शीशा फोड़ने वाला सीन
वो रिंग को देख रही होती है लड़की फॉर दोज हु डोंट हैव कॉन्टेक्ट वो देख रही होती है आप अंदर जाते हैं and he goes inside and to get the attention or something he just smashes the window right और फिर उसके बाद पुलिस आके पकड़ रही है और बोलते नंबर दे अपना नंबर दे
बट आई कांटेक्ट नहीं छूट रहा है
आई कांटेक्ट
नहीं छूट रहा है
it was
Women go out with a guy like that, you feel, in today's day and age. And back in the day, it was a rage. I don't know if it turned out to be a psycho for Gen Zs.
I am not sure.
Smashing a window and saying that number de. He might just lose brownie points over there.
Do you think your films have aged well? Like
I don't know, you tell me. I don't know if that looks like a psycho or it's a guy you can fall in love with.
I don't know.
See, I have nostalgia bias, so I can't.
लेकिन यहाँ पे अभी पता नहीं बीच में एक ऐसा कोई कहीं पे रिसर्च हुआ था कि जहाँ पे कि 22 से 30-year-old women they are very attracted to bad boys. There was this research.
Red flags.
Red flags. But they've always been attracted to bad boys.
That's like.
I think that's more of like the image of the protector, right? A good guy probably is not that a good guy cannot protect, but it's just that there's something that's unbelievable about bad boys, and
But is that the reason why you took on characters which had
I didn't take on
literally
anything. This was actually put on me from the word go. When you start off in a career in this business, you don't really have much of a say. You get offers, you make do with that, give your best. And then जब वो characters और फिल्में successful होने लगती हैं, that's when that becomes a certain, in our industry, there's a thing. If you are successful at something, producers and directors, they stretch that and they just
Put you in a box.
milk it into a point where they kind of rake in the money because the audience identifies something with that character and they buy tickets to watch your films. So it became variations of stories, but something similar about that rakish, rebellious, unpredictable nature of the characters.
So Emraan, you've had this entire life that you've discussed right now, okay? From the time you began in the industry till now, you've had this journey of your own, and now you're doing a show. Which is called Showtime. Does it depict all of that to the T?
Yeah, everything, I would say. I would say it's a bit of a heightened, entertaining version of the film industry. It's a little pulpy, it's a little pacey, but a lot of things are just based in certain truths of the industry of how it functions. It could be just the fleeting relationships here, of the way professional relationships are so transient. It could be how it's so brutal. It could be how there's a peripheral part of trollers, media and social media that have a kind of hand at play in this whole game. And it's just how people's stocks change every Friday, and how you might be the king, so to speak, on one Friday, and then the very next, people's outlook to you changes because suddenly, you go through a lean phase and things don't favor you. And everyone's gone through that. You can't enter in this industry feeling that I'll only have an uprise, I'll have a rise which is, of course, everyone sees successes, but you have to be able to deal with the failures. So it has to do with a lot of things, but again, it's a fun show, it's an entertaining show.
Sir, now we'll move on to the audience. They've been waiting eagerly. भाई किस-किसने सवाल पूछना है? Raise your hands, guys, please. Okay, Arshi ji, yes.
तो शो टाइम सीरीज में आपका एक डायलॉग है कि एक्टर्स को वैलिडेशन पान मसाला ऐड करके ही मिलता है. सो डू यू रियली बिलीव इन दैट?
नहीं, वो रघु खन्ना का डायलॉग था. आई थिंक वैलिडेशन मुझे एज एन आर्टिस्ट मुझे मिलता है ऑडियंस के प्यार से. जब आपकी फिल्म रिलीज होती है, जो भी हो, उनकी तारीफ से या बॉक्स ऑफिस कलेक्शन से या अभी आजकल शोज़ के व्यूज़ में, उससे मिलता है. नॉट, आई डोंट थिंक पान मसाला, बट वो रघु खन्ना का एक टैक्टिक है नेगोशिएटिंग. उसको पता है वो किसके साथ नेगोशिएट कर रहा है, कि अरमान ऐसा है, उसको वो वैलिडेशन उसी चीज़ से मिलेगी, एडवर्टीजमेंट से या इन सब चीज़ों से.
ओके, थैंक यू सर.
So hi Emraan, I have been a big fan of yours. I have always seen you in movies doing amazing, intimate scenes. I want to know if that ever put pressure on you in your real life, like when you were really with a woman.
Performance pressure with a woman. I thought the question was going somewhere else.
We can take the question there.
Probably once or twice. Early on in life.
And do you also have that challenge that women don't want to see beyond that sexy, amazing image of yours? They don't want to know anything else in their life.
I'm completely fine with that. You don't have to look beyond it. It's fine. You find me sexy, It's fine.
Good.
Thank you so much, guys. Can we have a big round of applause? So now we're doing an acting segment जहाँ पे इमरान को हमने एक सीन दिया हुआ है. तो एक प्रोड्यूसर जाता है इनके पास, उनको बोलता है कि इमरान आप किस कर लो, फिल्म में चल जाएगी. ठीक है? Let's go. So इमरान यार, what I was thinking. एक किस कर ले.
किसके साथ?
मेरे को नहीं. देख, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ. ढूंढ लेंगे.
हाँ?
सॉरी. मैं कह रहा हूँ.
कौन ढूंढ रहे हो आप?
कौन चाहिए तेरे को?
दीपिका?
नहीं मिलेगी.
क्यों, ज़्यादा चार्ज करती है क्या? तो फिर मैं फिल्म से आउट हूँ फिर.
इमरान मेरी बात सुन. देख,
अच्छा.
फिल्म में तेरे को बस एक किस करना है. प्रॉपर लिप लॉक हो जाए ना, तो समझ रहा है, एकदम क्लोजअप लेंगे बहुत ही तगड़ा. समझ रहा है. पीछे से सेंसुअल म्यूजिक, ऊपर से लाइटिंग और बारिश हो रही है.
नहीं, लेकिन डायरेक्टर ने कहा है कि जरूरत नहीं है.
अबे डायरेक्टर को
ये
छोड़
एक
तू.
परफॉर्मेंस फिल्म है, इसमें जरूरत नहीं.
वही तो कह रहा हूँ, परफॉर्मेंस.
नहीं, उस किस्म की परफॉर्मेंस नहीं यार. परफॉर्मेंस आर्टिस्टिक
तो तू बनाएगा ना उसे. अपने आप को देख एक बार. मतलब
आप एक सेकंड, आप रणवीर सिंह की तरह क्यों एक्ट कर रहे हैं?
मैं
आप प्रोड्यूसर हैं, या आप स्टार हैं, क्योंकि स्टार मैं हूँ।
इमरान ऐसे नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। मैं ये बस कह रहा हूँ कि आप अगर एक जेन्युइनली अगर आप एक क्लोजअप शॉट दे दो, प्रॉपर किस कर लो, मुझे पता है कि आप अब उस इमेज से जाना चाहते हो दूर, बट जस्ट वन, आई थिंक
Only one.
only one kiss, like but a proper like a 20 minute.
फिर उसके बाद आप फैलोगे नहीं?
नहीं फैलूंगा।
ये नहीं बोलोगे कि उसके बाद एक और करो, एक और
नहीं
करो।
नहीं, बस एक 20 मिनट का कंटिन्यूस।
ठीक है, तो मेरी रेम्यूनरेशन बढ़ा दो,
हाँ।
उसके बाद बात करते हैं।